Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So as you might know, Wuthering Waves released a few days ago. A lot of people on Twitch have been playing it at the moment, me included, and I thought I would take this opportunity to give you guys my thoughts on the game so far, things I like, things I don't like, and just let you know how I'm feeling about it so far, whether I'd recommend it to you guys. So let's just get into it. So firstly, the combat. The combat in this game is actually really good and I've been enjoying it a lot. It's probably the main reason I'm continuing to play the game. So you've got a lot of different aspects for the combat. We have dodges, so if you perfect time the dodge, it's like a little mini animation where you dodge out of it. Then we also have parries. So when you parry an enemy, a gold circle will appear, and if you hit the enemy at the right moment of time, it will parry them. And there's also these things called echoes. So basically, when you kill an enemy, sometimes you'll be able to absorb their like soul, I guess, and it's called an echo. And you can add these to your characters. It's where you get like your different stats from. And then once you've added that to your character, while you're in combat, you can actually like transform into your echo and use that to fight the enemy, which is really cool. It definitely adds some depth to the combat. I've never seen anything like that before, which is very interesting. Honestly, I haven't been utilizing it as much as I should, but I am going to try and use them more. So that's the basis of the combat. I am really enjoying it. As well as those things, there's also a bunch of different abilities you can use. There's jumping down attacks, there's heavy attacks, there's your basic attack, you also have your ultimates, and also when you're fighting, you'll see that your other characters in your team will light up. It makes a little like ding noise as well, and that means that you can change character and it will do the entrance attack basically. So once you've left them off the field for long enough, it like builds up, and then once it glows and it comes up with a little ding, you can change that character and it will do their like entrance attack, which is pretty cool. So you should definitely be like utilizing those while you're playing because it does a lot more damage. Another thing with the combat is that when you're fighting an enemy, you can actually press the middle mouse button and it will lock onto the target, which is really helpful for boss fights. Not so much where you're fighting them out in the world because there's so many enemies and you're killing them pretty fast, so you don't really need to lock on. But when you're doing a boss fight, it's quite nice, especially because some of the bosses will like go behind you and it just like flips your camera around, so you don't have to be like, oh my gosh, where'd they go? So that's pretty helpful. I do like that. Moving on from combat, we have the movement in the game. So movement in this game is pretty nice. We have wall running. So if you are holding like shift before you start running up the wall, instead of climbing, you will literally run up the wall, which is really cool. It does have stamina, but so far it's been so good. Being able to just quickly run up the wall is amazing. As well as wall running, there's also vaulting, so you can vault over objects, and when you get to the top of things, say there's like a little bit of a ledge, instead of getting stuck like you might do in Genshin Impact, you actually do a flip and flip over it and then go to the top, which is really cool. I love that they added that. It makes climbing up things feel so much better. There is also a grapple hook, so you have the grapple hook as an item that you can use. I think it has like a 10-second cooldown, and that is kind of, it's a bit underwhelming. You don't go very far, and the cooldown's pretty long, so it doesn't really feel that useful. I use it, but I think I'm just using it for fun. But they do also have like little tethers around that you can lock onto and grapple, a bit like Genshin Impact and around like Sumeru and all that area. So those are definitely really nice, but the grapple by itself, when you're not hooked onto those tethers, kind of underwhelming. I'm hoping that maybe they either like increase the distance that you go or maybe reduce the cooldown on it. I think it would make it feel a lot better. So as well as that, you can also air jump. So while you're in the air, if you press shift, you do like a little mini like dash forward, and you can also glide. So you have a glider. If you press space, you will glide. This also uses stamina, but it doesn't go down too fast. It's pretty good. And then also what's really good is when you're sprinting outside of combat, It does not use stamina. You can sprint forever as long as you're not in combat, which is amazing. I'm loving that. Yeah, the only time where you're using stamina is like climbing up walls, gliding, and when you're in combat. So I should have mentioned this before when I was talking about combat, but when you do like dodge, it does use stamina. Moving on to the world. So the world itself is really, really beautiful. I've loved just going to places and looking around because the visuals are so nice. And it also has really, really nice music all the time. I haven't played any other music while I've been playing the game. I've only been playing the in-game music, and it's really nice. It changes depending on where you are as well, which is nice. There's also like day and night and different weather depending where you are, which is really enjoyable. And also around the world, there's so many animals, which I love. There's like cats and dogs, little bunny rabbits. There's these cows that have mushrooms, I think, on their back. Which is pretty cool. The only thing that I have to complain about is that the animals, the cats and dogs around like the city, it says pet, and I got really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I can pet the animal. But you go up to it and you press pet and nothing happens. You just stand there looking at it, and then the animal just kind of walks around you. If it's the cat rolls on its back with its belly up, waiting for you to pat it. But you don't pat it. It just stares at you. I'm like, I'm sorry, I wish I could pat you. So hopefully they like add that, because it feels kind of cruel to be like, yes, you can pat it, but you don't. You can also feed them, but nah. Oh, yeah, another thing is there's also like collectibles around the world as well. You'll see them on your mini map. It's like a little cube, and that's like a little collectible item that you can get while you're going around, which is nice. I like that. Moving on, so throughout the world, there is also puzzles. Lots and lots of different puzzles. They're actually really fun. There's a bunch of different ones. I definitely haven't found all of the different ones yet. So some are just like little simple mini ones to get a chest. There's some where you have to like line up these little like blocks on the ground, and then you get a chest, and then there's also some really cool ones. There was one I did the other day where you're flying, you turn into like a flying creature, and it goes really fast. You have to go through all the holes, and then there's this one that I found yesterday where you turn into a fish. You should definitely go check out all the different puzzles around, because there's some very interesting ones and they're actually really fun. I've been enjoying them a lot. Moving on, the story so far, it's been okay. It's not anything spectacular. It's definitely not, Honkai Star Rail level story. When you started that game, the story was incredible. But it's decent. It's good enough that I am happy to keep playing the game. I'm not bored. But it's not amazing. They did introduce one specific character that definitely has improved the story, so I'm glad they did that. And also I have heard that a bit later in the story it does get a lot better, so that's good, and I'm looking forward to that. But at the moment it's just it's okay. It's good enough for me to want to keep playing, but it's nothing amazing. So this is the map size. It's pretty big. Obviously it's nothing huge, but we're only in 1.0, so I'm not expecting a massive map. But considering it just released, I think the map size is pretty decent. There's different like biome areas, there's like different areas that look different. And I'm pretty satisfied with the map on release, honestly. So next, I just wanted to talk about the different game modes that there are. So at the moment, they've got Tower of Adversity, which is like Spiral Abyss or Memory of Chaos. If you've played Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, basically you go in, you select your team, and then you have to fight the enemies within a certain amount of time to get, 1, 2, or 3 stars. Pretty simple. There's a few different like modes. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is yet because I haven't unlocked them. But it seems like there is some like variety maybe in the Tower of Adversity. But I'll have to see when I get up to that. Next off, we have the simulation challenges. Those are just for like the weapon XP, character XP, and the currency. So, you know, pretty basic things. There's also the weekly bosses that you can challenge. You get 3 attempts per week to do those. There's this mode called Tacit Field Cleanup, which I actually haven't done yet, but I think when you do it, you just get like some echoes from it. There's also the regular boss challenges, so these don't change per week. You can just go and do it whenever you want. Those also cost like your resin to complete. Now, in terms of the events that are currently in the game, there is a daily login event where after day 5 you get Sanhua, which is pretty nice, and then you also get some pulls each day. There's the Echo Hunters event, which basically you just go and kill a specific enemy and then you get an echo from it. I think I've only killed 1 so far that I just randomly stumbled across. And one of the really cool events that they have at the moment is the Depths of Elusive Realm, which is like simulated universe if you've played Honkai Star Rail. But basically you get to pick 1 character only, and then you go through a certain set of levels, and you get different like buffs along the way, and then at the end you fight the boss and you get your completion rewards. And they also have like basically a skill tree where you unlock different perks, passives that stay with you throughout all your runs. Also like Simulated Universe if you played that. I've done a couple rounds of the Depths of Elusive Realm and it's pretty fun so far. I am enjoying it. I think it's a nice event. I'm not sure if they'll add anything like that permanently in the game, but yeah, right now it's just the event. If you get to a certain stage in the Tower of Adversity, you get to unlock Yanwu. Then we just have the character like trials for the characters that are on the current banner. And that's pretty much it for the events that are currently in the game. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new or were interested in what I had to say. I will be playing a lot more Wuthering Waves, so if you want to come and say hi, I'll be streaming on Twitch. I'll definitely love to see you there. Thanks again. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!